Global efforts towards net zero are being put to the test against the backdrop of global macroeconomic uncertainty, the surge in energy prices, especially last year, and also the need to balance demand and emission targets. Banks have a significant role to play in this respect. We can direct financing toward companies with credible decarbonization plans. At DBS, we are firmly committed to a net zero future. We are the first bank, in fact, in Singapore to become a signatory of the Net Zero Banking Alliance, reinforcing our pledge to achieve a net zero world by 2050 or sooner. Between 2018 and 2022 alone, we have committed 61 billion in sustainable financing loans. This is in addition to the 24 billion raised in ESG bonds in 2022 alone, in which DBS was involved as an active book runner. While we have established our commitment and targets to decarbonize our portfolio, we recognize that this may not be adequate to effect change and impact in the real economy. The transition must also be pragmatic and just. As one of the leading financial institutions in Asia, supporting and financing green assets and sustainable activities, it is also crucial for us to support transition activities in the real economy in the decades to come, such as investment in low-emission fuels, biofuels, for example, hydrogen, etc., and technological shift toward low GHG steel production. To achieve a net zero future, we support transition activities by first, promoting a science-informed approach to avoid greenwashing through adoption of industry best practices. Second, addressing the potential trade-offs between various environmental, social, and economic interests. Third, highlighting potential differences in how an economic activity intended as a transitional solution in Asia may differ from more developed markets. Fourth, and equally important, leveraging our industry insights in the bank to advise customers on crafting credible decarbonization paths. As Asia's leading bank championing net zero, we see the need to push boundaries to accelerate decarbonization. Firstly, DBS has been at the forefront working with companies, international bodies and governments in Asia to put together credible and also auditable green sustainability frameworks. For example, we are actually co-leading the development of guidelines for the managed phase-out of coal in the Asia-Pacific workstream of GFANZ. This effort recognizes that green financing alone will not be enough to achieve net zero in Asia. It needs to be in tandem with aggressively phasing down coal-fired power plants, especially in Asia, where these plants are generally younger. Related to this, DBS is very honored to be acting as financial advisor to Indonesia's Sovereign Wealth Fund, INA, on the implementation of the energy transition mechanism. This relates to the early closure of coal-fired power plants in Indonesia. This scheme aims to raise blended finance to expedite the closure of selected coal-fired power plants and promote the adoption of low-carbon alternatives. The success of this model can then be replicated in other coal-power dependent countries such as Vietnam and India. Secondly, we enable Asia's energy transition through partnerships and by improving transparency and access to green financing. With the rapid rollout of renewable energy projects across Asia, there's significant growth in the number of projects entering the market. Given our footprint, DBS has also been actively helping clients recycle capital to do more, to develop more. Through M&A, we match clients who want to buy and scale their renewable assets with those looking to recycle capital to do more. Our leadership in sustainability has been recognized globally. In 2022, DBS won the ESG Excellence Award for Asia Pacific by IJ Global, amongst other awards that recognize our efforts towards net zero. We're also the first Singapore bank to be included in the FTSE4Good Global Index since 2017. As Asia races towards transitioning and decarbonizing, we naturally see increasing needs for project finance in the region. Asia, being diverse, is experiencing different levels of maturity across markets when it comes to regulatory frameworks, sustainable practices, measurements, and tracking. This has a bearing on how easily project owners and developers can access developmental green financing, and it challenges the speed of scaling renewable energy projects. At DBS, our project finance team is doing its part to accelerate this. With our expertise, we advise and lead complex project financing deals across Asia Pacific and ensure that projects are bankable through international-style, robust risk allocation frameworks to increase the bankability of the investments and also achieve timely financial close for these mission-critical projects. In 2022, our project finance team worked on more than 17 financial advisory mandates across a range of industries and geographies, with the latest related to financing the acquisition of a 50-megawatt solar farm in Bangladesh for a unit of China's Huatian Group. The team's expertise has earned them international recognition year after year, such as being named the best project finance advisory house in Asia Pacific at the recent AAA Sustainable Infrastructure Awards by The Asset, as well as the Financial Advisor of the Year 2022 in Asia Pacific by IJ Global Awards. The window of opportunity to accelerate Asia's energy transition is closing. The Singapore International Energy Week 2023 will be the forum where leaders from around the world gather to discuss pertinent issues on the energy transition towards a net zero world, to accelerate this massive decarbonization effort. As a key partner of the Singapore International Energy Week, we look forward to an exciting forum with you to spark more ideas and collaborations on how governments, international institutions, and companies can work together towards a net zero Asia.